So players that struggle with speed going up the hill, some of it could be just the understanding that as we're going up the hill, we're putting against gravity and we're putting against the friction of the grass. The grass wants to lay going downhill. So effective stimp, if I was putting, say, on a 10 stimp, which everyone says, what stimp are you playing? Say, okay, I'm playing on a 10. But now if I put that, say, up a 1.5 degree slope, which is what my level says, now the effective stimp might drop all the way down to, say, a 7.5. So the same energy that might roll 10 feet might now roll 7.5 feet. Where if I was putting down the slope, now I'm putting with gravity, with the grain of the grass, kind of less friction. Now that 10 could play like a 15, right? So the downhill is always going to roll out farther than the uphill rolls out. So the same amount of energy uphill compared to downhill and across the hill are going to be way different results. Now, stuff that can affect the speed going up the hill, if I had a putter, some of these putters nowadays are designed with 2 degrees aloft when the shaft is in an upright position. Now, if I deliver that with the handle too far forwards, it's going to de-loft it, hit the ball down into the slope, and then make that ball bounce up before it actually starts to roll. I could also be on the opposite way. If I was adding too much loft, the ball's going to launch up in the sky with some backspin, kind of spin before it starts to roll, so be inconsistent outcomes. So using Capto, what I'll do is say there's a level on the ground. I know what the slope is. It's 1.5 degrees upwards. As I'm getting in here, setting my putter, I'm trying to set the putter shaft 90 degrees to the surface I'm putting on. As I set my feet, it might feel like my torso is matching the slope. And there, once I feel like I'm matching the slope, I can take a look at the iPad or even at the Capto unit right here, and I just have it on the green mode. So I have a live shaft number that I can see. But once I feel good, I go, okay, this thing feels like I'm matched to the slope. As I look, it says, okay, there's positive 1.5 degrees of shaft lean, or the grip's behind the putter face, which means I was set up to the slope. So when I deliver the putter, I can deliver the desired loft. Where if I came in here and I set up more with gravity, where my shoulders feel level with the earth, my spine feels more with gravity, like it's going up and down, and I got the putter all set, now it's going to say the shaft is 0 degrees, but in reality, what I just did relative to the slope is I de-lofted my putter 0 or 1 degree, 1.5, because I was going up a 1.5 degree slope. So as I'm getting set in here, I want to set the putter, I'm setting the loft of the putter, then I'm setting my body, I'm saying, okay, do I feel like I'm level to the slope or 90 degrees to the slope? Once I feel comfortable, I go, that feels good. I could scan, that says 1.5, pretty close. Make a stroke, watch the ball roll, then afterwards, now it says I returned the putter back to 1.5 degrees. So I didn't add loft and I didn't de-loft it. So this putter loft was delivered into the golf ball how it was designed to play. If I do one more of them, click a little setting of the putter, setting the loft of it to match the slope, setting my feet, setting my body. Once I feel comfortable, golf ball, roll it, take a look. And again, now it says +1, so I've actually de-lofted the putter relative to the slope 0.5 degree. Right, so using technology on the uphill putts could give you some feedback in the environment as I'm going uphills, downhills, different slopes. Am I getting the ball up and rolling up the slope, or am I smashing the ball into the slope, or potentially adding way too much loft and launching the ball too high?